Upset, quickly before we jump into this too hard, 2 kills away from 2,000 all-time in the LEC. I saw you fountain chasing a little bit at the end of that play. You know, trying to kill Isma on the fountain. Did you know, or was it just I like killing people, I'm an AD carry?
Yeah, more of that, I think. No, I didn't know, but 2,000 sounds like a great number. Hopefully we can get it tomorrow. Or I can get it tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, against Vitality, it should be a good game. Looking forward to that one. Let's get into the draft then. Varus banned away. Can you believe he was buffed?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Freak must be a Varus main for sure. Like he was already really pick or ban every game in competitive, and then they even buffed him like quite a lot. Like it wasn't a small buff even. So quite good patching it.
Yeah, I like it. Solid. I mean, he did use when Maokai support was really broken, he played a bunch of Maokai support, so maybe, as you say, he's just a Varus main. Zir banned away as well by G2. We have the Jace and the Pantheon getting taken away by KC. Apart from Yunara and Aphelios, do you think there are any AD carries that are maybe overlooked a little bit? Obviously, I don't want you to leak your secret super scrim picks, but you think there are any AD carries that kind of sit just below that mark that you'd be looking at?
Yeah, I mean, Corki has shown up quite a bit, right? Yeah. He's definitely pretty strong right now. And then Kai'Sa into Corki was played as well quite a bit. I think he's decent. And then you see the occasional Ezreal or Sivir. But yeah, I think if you're picking AD carry 1 to 3, usually you will see like one of Yunara, Varus, Corki, this kind of meta right now.
That makes a lot of sense. Orianna and Jarvan, the final 2 bans.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the 2 AD carries you can trade there, I think you're just happy to go with the Rumble here. He's been so incredibly strong on the top side. And we've seen a lot of teams like trying to pair with the Jarvan. It's obviously taken away here, but regardless, the pick is just so strong, and it has been for so long.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a top lane champ... Oh, they switched to Yunara last second. Yunara also very powerful, of course. But Rumble is just a champ on blue side that you can pick for your top laner, and he will probably have push, he will probably have a good matchup, and when the answer is like a tank and survive lane into your champ, it's probably like very powerful in draft, right? That's why we're seeing a lot of Rumble first pick, and it's a little bit similar to Yunara, like the matchups on bot depend more on the support, I would say, when you play Yunara Vedius, Yunara Corki, but Yunara overall is just a blind pick you can pick, you will have push if the support matchup is not too skewed. And she's really good in team fights, she's good in scaling, she's good in early objective fights. It's just the full package, right?
I'm still trying to pitch my AP Yunara build because her passive makes her crits scale with AP, right?
Okay,
so Dusk and Dawn Yunara.
Okay.
On hit, you know, you press your Q.
I don't have a pen right now, but I would write it down.
We can get you a pen and paper, you know?
No, I'm good. It's
okay.
I can't wait to check your match history and see if it actually
It works in ARAM Mayhem, therefore it must be good.
So Rumble Ultimate match history, all red, only AP Yunara.
Well, there's the Corki pick into the Yunara, no real surprises there. Yeah. Rumble's still available, but G2 do like to look towards their jungle. Xin Zhao will be the pick. So you already have, you know, some good poke from the Corki, can put some threat onto the Yunara in lane if you have a good support matchup.
Yes, you can definitely. If the matchup is something like Nami Corki against the melee champion, you will have some pressure. Same for Nico, so it will really depend a lot on the support matchup. I think Corki against Yunara just in a vacuum, the Yunara has slight push, but Corki has his timings where he gets really strong just because the champ has really strong numbers. That's the main reason you pick him. So we'll have to see what happens in the support department. Usually red side, of course, will get the counter pick, but let's see how it plays out.
Well, red side is blue side in this game.
That's very confusing.
Yeah.
One of the sides will have counter pick.
Yeah, so G2 will have that R5 is what we used to call it, last pick of the draft.
Yeah, this is what I was curious though, is how much priority do you give to Ryze in this sort of situation? Because we know that Caps is more than happy to take something like the Anivia into it, and you've already got the setup with the Xin Zhao to try and follow up on it. So looks like maybe we have an opportunity here for G2 to bring out the bird once again.
I mean, Anivia definitely has great scaling in this meta, especially against Ryze. He's a short-range champ, but Ryze is similar class of champion as Yunara and Rumble. You can pick it, the enemy can pick a champ that has value, but you still will have push. You still will get to do your things on side lane. You still will have a really nice ulti for team fights to flank and just be really mobile on the map. So,
is there a risk for Yunara if she's dashing in fights, having an Anivia there who can put a wall behind you immediately? Are you just a little bit more cautious about how you're stepping forward, or can you kind of play it the same?
I mean, usually the fights are more front to back in a way where you're hitting the first guy you hit, and Anivia's very rarely a target unless she CC'd, so it's not that bad for Yunara, but Anivia has great zone control, especially if you're immobile, but Yunara definitely has a little bit more playroom against her than other champs, I would say.
That makes sense. We see the Galio coming out. Expect that to be in the top side. BB, a long-time pick into the Rumble is this Galio, can give you good pressure. If you have the grasp as well, you can sustain through the lane pretty effectively. Wukong banned away by G2. There's the Anivia ban. Good prediction on that, Dagda. KC have done their research, although it's not too hard research to do. It's only 4 games so far this split, so they will get rid of the Anivia themselves. And now we'll see where G2 want to go with their final ban of the draft. They're denying some of that zone control, the Cyclone, they've got rid of the Orianna, the Varus as well with the Chain of Corruption can give you area control in fights.
I'm just curious what the jungle is going to be, because I imagine Vi ban going to be coming through next for G2 for the Rumble Vi combo and also kind of the setup with the Ryze, but actually not
Yike,
the case,
Vi, they leave it open.
Yeah.
I mean, Galio also has some nice counterplay into Vi. Vi Ryze is not the best combo, let's say. Vi Rumble, on the other hand, is very good, so I think Vi is not a not bad champion, but I think G2 just has to read on KC that they think Yike's Vi is maybe not one of his best champs necessarily, so let's see if they will prove them wrong, I guess.
You've been on the caster desk for all of 5 minutes and you've already got all the narratives down. Upset.
Yeah.
Like, this was a huge thing at the start of last
prepared.
year. Nami the final ban, so you talked about that pressure that a Nami Corki can have in the lane with the Tycaller's Blessing, with the ebb and flow for the sustain. G2 now looking towards their jungler, leaving support for the counter matchup as that last pick. And it looks like, is that actually going to be a Lee Sin? A Lee Sin! Locked for SkewMond.
No,
But the Zin's out?
the Lee Sin is
Oh, Lee
top
Sin
lane.
top!
Yes.
Not mid?
No.
So it's Galio mid, Lee Sin top?
Okay.
So
Okay, well, sure.
I have been seeing some Lee Sin. Obviously. Oh.
You're good, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not, sorry, I was
I
talking
have
to
been seeing
production.
some Lee Sin
Yeah.
in some games. Top lane, it seems quite strong now.
Yeah.
Important now, getting your quest fast, getting all your bonus XP. So I think in this current meta, it could be a quite interesting pick into the Rumble.
Yeah. I've been seeing a little bit of a Profane Hydra, Sundered Sky, Death's Dance, Lee Sin jungle
gonna
as
say,
well.
that's Brox's build.
It is Brox's
Yeah.
build, originally coming from Korean solo queue, so maybe following a similar, as you say, with the Ravenous Hydra, just gives you that extra damage. Aatrox is the final pick in the jungle for KC, most likely. Rumble can be flexed to jungle, but very, very rarely these days are you going to take the Rumble into the jungle when you can put it top. G2 looking for counter pick into this Alistar Yunara.
There's going to be probably a Rakan, a Bard, or a Nico now, I would guess. Rakan obviously gives you more engage. It's already nice with the Zins or Galio.
Yeah.
It has a decent matchup into Alistar, but it's not really there to smash the lane or anything. Otherwise, Bard and Nico could have also been an option, but they want more engage. They want more go buttons, and the matchup is fine. Rakan also right now has a great win rate too, I think. It's just a really strong champ if he's not punched in lane. I mean, you're somewhat of a Rakan kind of.
I used to be a Rakan main, I'm now a Braum main.
Okay.
Because Braum is just really easy to play. You put up Unbreakable and chuck a Winter's Bite out, you kind of done your job in a fight. But as you say, Rakan relatively weak in lane. Like Gleaming Quill, you're just sustaining up. You can get some engages off, but you're not there to dominate the lane. I did just get notified last time we see Lee top was a couple of years ago from Genax, who brought it out in 2024.
Yeah, and it used to be with the Emax as well, because you get so much push in the lane, you can also slow and then follow up very easily when it comes towards like trading effectively. And I think against Rumble, that could actually work out relatively well here, but I am curious if it is still going to be that same tech, or if you're happy just going up towards that Tiamat early, which means you don't really need that E-push as much.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, nor am I. That's the joy of being a caster.
I don't know why I'm here.
Well, we will look at the top lane a little bit. Obviously, bot lane, mostly our focus in this early game. Hans Summer, Labrov versus Caliste Busio. Like, Caliste Busio, the promised bot lane for KC. Coming in, Caliste was this AD carry who was a prodigy, couldn't join the team originally, then was able to be promoted to the KC main roster. Busio, widely regarded as the best support in the West last year, now coming into KC, hasn't made as much impact yet as you'd like, but when you're looking at a new support as an AD carry, there is kind of a grace period you need to really learn how your AD carry wants to play, learn exactly how you want to play in each individual matchup upset.
I mean, 100%, you always need some time to get on the same page. That's when you play bot lane, that's all what it's about. You just need to understand what the other person wants to do without really having to talk much about it. So you move in the same way. You can see Rakan. Oh, this is the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can look at this one. This one's fine.
Okay.
This is the same as what's up there. So.
I mean, they're showing mid lane right now. Okay, we're back to bot lane. Level 1, Rakan has the Q, and Alistar level 1 is quite weak. It's really hard for him to do something unless he gets a Q flash angle, but it looks like he's at a W, so
He did, yeah.
Rakan will be able to walk up a lot and just get Qs on him because the hitbox is quite big, and you can see if Rakan hits all his Qs, he will have a lot of sustain, but Rakan overstepped a
Goes
little
coming out
bit.
from
He's
Caliste, as
getting
you
knocked
say.
into the
Labrov
Arco.
very much overstepped. Has to burn the flash and the heal to get out of that. 2 summoners with 2. No flashes burnt on the KC side, but a ghost and a heal.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Definitely should have had Sweeper. Probably they also warded the first bush there, which is quite weird. But the main problem was that Caliste had his lethal tempo stacked up. and they just didn't respect it, and Rakan walked way past the enemy minion line and got punished for it. Really nice play the KC bot lane.
Yeah, I think Hans's Phosphorus bomb might have been on CD as he walked up as well, so he didn't even have the threat of a bit of damage coming back. Busio going in with the headbutt pulverize. Caliste.
Oh, another spacing mistake, just getting raw comboed by the Alistar. It's not going well right now.
So if you are G2 in this sort of situation, how are you trying to now fix this sort of position? Like, obviously the wave is now pushing into you, you're a little bit behind. Are there certain things that you're looking out for?
I mean, this matchup is a little bit more forgiving, I think. There's not much pressure on them right now. The bigger question is how it will look on the bounce. They will be able to farm this wave just fine, and then it's mostly going to depend what the junglers are going to do to interact with the lane. At level 3, it could get a little bit tricky now that they're chunked, but we have to see how the trades play out now. Right now, you can see it's quite stable, right?
Yeah, well, Labrov's also going to be quite late to that level 3. You can see Caliste and Busio, those little pink bars almost there themselves, whereas Labrov's only just ticked over to 2. Skew was pathing towards the top side the last time we saw the minimap, and Yike was pathing down towards the bottom side. So there is a risk of a 3v2. Diving a Rakan can be a little bit tricky, but if you play it well, perhaps the dive is on.
Yeah, they could definitely go for a 1-for-1 dive trade here. If they have info about the Zins out. It's a play you can make, but you can also just play for tempo. Aatrox wants to be on time for a second clear. I think he started on Raptors. So let's see what decision they make, but it looks like they're just fast pushing this wave. They're not going for a dive, but that's always an option if jungles are mismatched and you have a melee support and you have push. You can usually trade the kill, like you can kill the enemy AD carry for your support, but they don't choose to do it. They instead get wards and just play for tempo.
Well, it looks like Yike actually might be looking for a Razorbeak steal on the reset here. They did have a ward on them when they were first taken, but with his bot lane backing away, he's just going to get a bit of vision instead and back away himself. We'll have a brief glimpse up towards the top side if it's okay, Upset.
All right.
It's been a while since we've seen Elise in top. BrokenBlade playing it for the first time in his career, as far as I can see. It is Emax for that Tempest Cripple. The slow on that doing a lot of work.
Also, just a nice ward from BrokenBlade. It's just over towards the Krug camp, spotting out the Aatrox. Just gets pinged there. So, kind of understanding he needs to keep himself safe, especially as a lot of this lane is about pushing and then going for these very quick trades, as you can see there, using the Sonic Wave. So, BrokenBlade looking very confident on this pick, and Canna just not getting as much of that pressure as you'd expect traditionally from a Rumble when he is taking on that top side.
Also, both people are playing Ignite, but there's definitely some Bruce Lee stuff going on, I think, right now. He's already up nearly a wave. Looks pretty solid, I think.
Yeah, pushing out well. I misspoke slightly. We have seen BrokenBlade on this pick a couple of times in the past, back in 2021.
Oh, really?
5 years ago when he was on Schalke. Were you on that roster?
No.
No.
I wasn't Fnatic at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bad reference from me then, you know? You see a fight down towards the bottom side. Han's getting chunked out, has to flash away as Busio had that trample lined up.
Yeah, so the main thing with Alistar Rakan is if the lane is going well, Rakan can always be in Alistar's face and always chunk him with auto attacks, hit some Qs and out-sustain him. But if the AD carry gets comboed when you're playing with Alistar and the matchup is somewhat even, you can lose the trade quite hard, and as you could see there, I'm not sure what happened with the Valkyrie before that, if it got cancelled. Usually he should not lose his flash, because if Alistar combos in, Rakan should be able to W him, so he can't get stunned and then you just W out, but I think the Valkyrie must have gotten cancelled, or he must have used it before.
Maybe used it aggressively. Well, actually in the game, the last time BrokenBlade played this Lee Sin, he beat you. It was against Fnatic at that time. So BrokenBlade going 1-3-13. Nuke went 11-1 and 8 on a Twisted Fate mid.
I think this might have been his only win in that split, maybe.
It was his only win on Lee Sin. I don't know if it was his only win in the split.
This was the summer split?
I'm not
sure.
Oh,
yes, summer
2021.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be in Schalke, right? I had to do a solid for them. It was a difficult split. So.
It makes sense. You tried to carry this game.
I mean, I did try
5-1-1.
Yeah, it looks a bit sussy what's happening in the top side on the scoreboard there, but it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. Just Niski, inting you a little bit apparently in that 0-5-4 on the Akali. Anyway, first Drake of the game going over to KC. They use the fact their bot is winning and the pressure they have to go for that Drake. It's a Cull first from Caliste here. If you're winning the lane like this, would Cull always be your standard purchase?
I mean, Cull in general is very great on Yunara because of the way the on-hit works with your Q. Every Cull gives you like 2 HP or something per AA, and when you press Q, it procs it on the whole wave, so you heal a lot. But you would have liked to seen maybe a little bit more thought about the wave. Like, they tried to go for the Raptor and wait level 4 instead of holding the bot wave, and then they didn't end up going for it, so Alistar just moved for no reason, and Aatrox also used time. Instead, they should have probably held the wave and made it a bounce, because Corki couldn't have crashed. And same thing here, they just are giving them a base, and the wave was actually pushing towards them. and there wasn't really an objective up to play for. So if Alistar gets the freeze here, it's still a pretty nice situation. They will lose a whole wave. Let's see if he can do it, because that will really snowball the lane a lot. If he can W the minion out of the... Oh, he should W the minion out of the tower range.
Punt the Canna minion out of tower range, so it's not tanking those tower shots.
I think Caliste might have just tracked it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar can always do it, right? Alistar can headbutt it. But regardless, they will lose a full wave here, and Yunara will get 6 first. And she will have her red potion. Right now, you're always playing cashback and triple tonic, right? So this bot wave situation could be a place to fight on, definitely, if they choose so.
It's such a typical AD carry mentality. Like Riot says, okay, we're going to give you quests, they give you more gold. And AD carries say, okay, what can I do? I can get more gold out of my more gold. The fact I have a 7th item slot as well, cashback. Let's do it. And I can get free stuff alongside it. Excellent.
Songs, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what you want. So top lane currently going in favor of G2. BrokenBlade getting the push into Canna, has to use the equalizer to clear out the wave. No Dragon Blade kick there from BB. Caps losing in the mid lane, kind of to be expected into the Ryze, who can just use that spell flux and the overload to clear out waves. Bot lane going very much in Casey's favor. We don't want to keep you around for too long, Upset. I know you have a game tomorrow. Looking at the game state, looking at how bot lane's going, what are your predictions for the game? And I know it's really early and that's a bit unfair to ask you, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
I mean, you can see top and bot are kind of trading gold advantages right now. I like both drafts. I think Casey's draft is going to be a little bit better in teamfights, unless G2 gets a really good engage. So right now I would say it's a little bit more Casey favored, but obviously it's a 200 gold difference, right? So
who's going to win? Who's going to win?
I think Casey's going to win this one, probably.
Can we get that on a lower third? We're going to use that if G2 win. Thank you so much for joining us, Upset. Rob will... Oh, I didn't mean to shake your hand, but thank you. Rob will hold down your mute button as you take off your headset to make sure. Thank you, Upset. Great insight there from Upset as well. Thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow, mate. Yeah, really good insight from Upset. I love the mechanics of bot lane in solo queue. I'm just like, hey, I can hit a Q on this guy. Maybe that's okay. You know, it's fine. But really good to learn about it, like some of the intricacies going on down there. Let's have a look at the rest of the map that we haven't approached too much. We've talked a little bit about BB having this lead in the early game. It's the Tempest Cripple, the ability to get the push out onto the Rumble. He's kind of been neutralized in the early game. Jungle's relatively even. We did have the Dragon going over to KC with Grubs going over to G2. Meanwhile, Busio engaging down towards the bottom side. Hansama, there's the Valkyrie W combo that Upset was saying he wanted to see earlier on.
Yeah, it's a nice job there for G2 to be able to escape, but I did want to highlight the amount of vision control that G2 actually have placed in KC's jungle. You can see 2 control wards at both of the red and blue buffs that are just spotting out exactly where Yike is at all points in time. So they've been able to keep themselves relatively safe throughout this. And Yike has definitely been trying to put a little bit more pressure down towards that bottom side just to enable the lead that Caliste and Busio already have. But in this situation, BrokenBlade...
It goes in onto Canna, who goes overheated. BrokenBlade getting burned to a crisp. He went for that fight, and Canna just stands his ground and gets the kill.
What happened to the safeguard, though? Like, he placed the ward to use the safeguard, and I didn't see, maybe he just shielded himself?
He may have W'd himself by accident. If you got it on Smartcast, pretty easy to do if your mouse cursor is over yourself. Labrov looking to see if he can find an engage onto Caliste here, but is spotted on vision from that Tribush ward. Let's have another look at this. So he goes in, safeguards himself at the start.
Oh, he safeguarded before, so, I mean, now, with the auto attacks that you have, it should just be about to come... Oh, yeah. So he just safeguarded himself a second time, so...
Even then, I like safeguard Dragon's Rage, the kick away maybe would have bought him enough space to survive.
Oh, it's not the best choice.
Oh, it's an awful choice to go in. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because every auto attack you get with Lee Sin lowers the cooldown of your abilities. So obviously trying to trade very effectively, get a full rotation, and get back out, but Canna just having way more damage than he expected there.
Yeah, for every spell you cast as well, the next 2 autos give you some of that energy back. So you want to be weaving in those auto attacks, especially important through your jungle, to make sure you have those autos up as often as possible. It doesn't really apply too much to BrokenBlade, that jungle tip, as now Yike gets vision with Busio down towards this bottom side. No sweeper available means that Busio will be standing on a ward. Yike looking to start the second Drake of the game, but with Caps coming across and with that grand entrance, the heroic entrance from Caps, a possibility. Busio here to collapse the 3v3. They jump onto Kyeahoo. Quickness out for the double charm. The torn out as well. Kyeahoo almost falling, but able to flash away. Caliste here first. But Casey will just back away. Their mid laner very low. BrokenBlade had worked his way down from top. Would have been a 5v4. Canna, no TP yet, hasn't completed that role quest. G2 start up the Drake. Kyeahoo underneath the tower. Looking for the Rune Prison here onto Cass. It's going to get taken out by the taunt. Cass beginning to walk away. The hero's entrance knocked back by Busio, who will claim the kill. The Drake for G2, though, still at 2,000 HP. Caliste trying to come in from the bottom side, looking for the Transcend oneself. Canna's worked his way down. Meanwhile, BrokenBlade's back up towards the top. It's got a 4v3 in favor of KC. Caliste flashing away from SkewMond. Labrov trying to dance around here as well. But a good trample stun into Yike's damage is enough to kill the enemy jungler. And Labrov and Hans Summer have to walk away, tails tucked between their legs.
Caps kind of end up costing the Dragon there for G2. Sure, he gets the kill, and it will give an advantage in the lane because the wave died, and also that kill went to Busio. So he gets the kill here, but it does mean that then because you've got BrokenBlade, he's gone back towards the top side, and Caps is effectively now out. It means that KC are able to re-enter because Canna had that push on top, has now walked down, and good identification from KC to say, hang on a second, G2 are overplaying their hands here. And Caliste plays this very well, flashing away from SkewMond, hopping over the wall, Busio there to support him, and SkewMond doesn't have the Crescent Guard available because it was used earlier in that skirmish.
While we were watching that, BrokenBlade was able to take the first tower of the game in the top side because of the move down from Canna, but KC still have about 1,000 gold lead and the second Drake to their names. It's a Cloud Soul on the Rift now.
It's also about to get bigger because one left on the Cull. He's going to end up popping it just in a second. There you go. So a 1.2k gold lead for Caliste now in that bottom side of the map. This Yunara is very strong and has set up to make sure that she can carry these fights.
Yeah, now going to go back and build up towards that next item. Has got a cloth armor. I wonder if it's a steel cap sort of game for Caliste here on the Yunara. Essence Reaver for Hans Summer. Did he... Oh, played his steel caps. There we are. They went into... I'm sorry, I'm not used to seeing a cloth armor disappear because the guy bought boots, you know? But Caliste gets those plated steel caps. They go into his extra slot. G2 use the fact the enemy AD carry. And getting back out onto the map to take the blue buff away. Yeah, who has fallen behind a very minuscule amount in terms of gold. 2 caps, there's about 100 gold difference. Caliste has actually lost some of that gold lead he did have as Hans Summer's got back in within about 800 gold himself. Hans Summer does need to be a little bit careful with Busio on his way across, but good vision control from both teams, meaning that ganks are pretty difficult right now.
You do. It's more I'm looking to see what BrokenBlade can do because he has that push in topside, and there's a lot of movement you can now do with the Lee Sin, especially like coming over a wall, flash kicking Caliste, who doesn't have that flash available. So I think if I'm G2, that's where I'm looking, and Canna wants to force the play.
Equalizer down, Flame Splitter as well, burning through BrokenBlade, who tries to heal up off the wave with the Ravenous Hydra. Ignite out, Dragon's Rage, kick back on Canna, ultimate for ultimate exchange. And the summoner from Canna in the form of that Ignite does mean there's no Dragon's Rage kick to catch out Caliste around a fight, but no real fight brewing either. The only neutral up in the next minute or so is that Rift Herald coming up in 10 seconds time. Taunt from Caps does find his man. Labrov could go in, but they know KC's in the vicinity, and because of that they decide discretion, the better part of Valor, not actually going for the fight. SkewMond looking for something here as well. Kyeahoo, no flash on him. Labrov goes in. Busio trying to act as that bodyguard. Good double taunt into the charm. The dash away as well from Labrov. And now SkewMond needs to get the hell out of there. Crescent Guard out. Tries to dash away from the Infernal Chains, but he's ripped back into the hands of KC. Kyeahoo gets his first of the game.
It was a weird commit from G2. BrokenBlade didn't reset on the top side. Instead went to try and heal up off the Grom and didn't actually really heal up very full, so wasn't able to commit to the TP play. And Canna, kind of reading that, immediately teleports to the bottom side, and it's KC who are able to find the numbers advantage on that bottom lane. And even with the long lane, BrokenBlade isn't going to get a huge amount back on that top side. You can look at the minimap. BrokenBlade is finishing off the Krogs. So as G2 commit to this, it's Canna TP's in behind. You first push from mid, but Caliste...
Oh, Hans stepping to Caliste here, and Busio's here to help his ally. Labrov doing the same from the bottom side, and without vision, you see no real play materializing. BB's going to TP down towards bot, look for Canna. Good use of the Phaelites there from Canna with that control. Well, Dragon's Rage kick from BrokenBlade, but he's used the safeguard now, has to try and dodge his way away, caught out. BB trying to do some magical stuff on this Lee Sin, but it's just not working. Caught out between Yike and Canna. He'll be burnt alive by that Rumble, who secures his second of the game.
This Lee Sin is not working out as I think BrokenBlade was hoping for. Canna getting the better of him. The TP play, take 2. Yeah, Electric Boogaloo.
Now up towards top. Phase Rush and Ghost available for Kyeahoo. flash forward for the 3 Talon. There's a flash away from the taunt. The knockup with the Justice Punch not gonna land, and now Kyeahoo can just realm warp his way to safety. G2 pulling the trigger on multiple plays around the map, but they're firing blanks.
I was going to say, they're just firing it everywhere except the target at this stage. Sure, you will get the push now on that top side, though. Maybe you want to move that into Rift Tower, but Han Sama is getting, honestly, kind of stalled on by Caliste in this mid lane.
Yeah, he is. Caliste building up towards that next item, has the Zeal and the Scout Slingshot. Han Sama on his way to an Infinity Edge, but still needs the pickaxe and the combination gold to pay to Boris to upgrade towards that next power spike. Next Drake up in 8. G2 realize they got to play around this. It would be soul point for KC, and the Cloud Soul would be so powerful on this KC lineup.
Yeah, I think Caliste would like to try and reset. I imagine he's very close to that Runaan's Hurricane. But may not just have the chance as the Dragon already started up by G2. Looks like KC gonna give.
Yeah, it's an interesting trade here. Rift Herald for the Drake. Yeah, who getting some time with that top tier 1 as well. Should be able to take it down. From what I can see on the minimap, it's sitting at only 1 plate. Yeah, he's just waiting for it to kill off some of those minions. So will be a tower and a Rift Herald exchanged for a Dragon, but KC opting out of putting themselves on soul point. Could have just been a timing thing, as you say. Maybe had a little bit too much gold in their inventories, hadn't quite got the resets off that they would have wanted, but for the moment, still in control of this game. 3K ahead, 18 minutes in. G2 limping more than running through this matchup. And Karmine Corp really doing a good job of neutering any threat that could come out of G2.
The only salvation for G2 in this is you do have Elise in, and if he can get a good kick onto Caliste, that can be game-changing, especially when the rest of the gold for KC is situated onto Yike, who can struggle a little bit when you're playing into things like a Rakan, a Galio, and things that can buy a lot of space for the backline. But BrokenBlade, I'm going to be honest, hasn't fully impressed me on this Lee Sin thus far, so we'll have to see if the old man hands are working for an insect play.
And he did get the lane priority that we don't often see people get into Rumble, but as you say, the mechanics after that point haven't really shown us the style that is required to master the King of Kung Fu in Lee Sin. I did once watch a 60-minute long game where Meteos was on Lee Sin, and by the end of it, he worked out how to insac.
Yeah. So we have to go to an hour.
G2 might try and delay, man. They have some tools. They don't have the best wave clear, though. Corki can do it, but Galio really just chucking out those winds of war and trying to chip away at the waves. KC setting up around this bottom side. No neutral to be fought over.
Yeah, also Canna started to get pulled down, spotted on wards that are in that top side jungle for KC, so I think G2 not wanting to overextend and kind of just keeping Canna interested at the moment.
And both dodging away here. Infernal Chains will pull Caps back. He's pretty tanky on this Galio. Gets the taunt. Unbreakable will out from Busio. Zeke's Convergence will prop. And in the end, KC can't find much more of the play. BrokenBlade here on level 14. Going to take the tower, trying to heal up with that Ravenous Hydra Dragon to kick it out as Karmine Corp begin to collapse. Busio no ultimate, but does have the flash, can look for the engage. Safeguard away from BrokenBlade. G2 beginning to collapse here. Yike goes in, there's the equalizer. Hero's entrance out as well as BrokenBlade dives in. A good charm coming out from Labrov. It's a 1-for-1 so far, now 2-for-1 in favor of Karmine Corp. It's SkewMond and Caps in the middle of the meat grinder, and they just can't survive. They're minced to a crisp. They will get one more, but 4-for-2 is well in the Blue Wall's favor.
If you're going to try and take on this Aatrox, you have to bring some damage, and G2 just don't have it. Han Sama was still in the mid lane. BrokenBlade is taken down immediately, and KC opening up this gold lead nicely for themselves.
They just don't have the damage to work through the Aatrox, as you say. Yike 2-0-5 against his former team. 2 towers on the bot side. As KC now a 4.5k gold lead. We'll have another look because it's BrokenBlade pushing for the tower. He does get it, and then the collapse comes in from KC.
Yeah, Busio engaged on the BrokenBlade. BrokenBlade ends up following the Sonic Wave right the way into the back line, and we called it out. Good charm from Labrov, but now it's on to SkewMond to try and be the damage dealer. He's getting knocked around, cannot get through any of the health bars that are here, and Caps ends up picking up. Doesn't even, sorry, pick.
He does,
there,
yeah.
at the end for Kyeahoo. What time? We passed it.
Everyone take a breath. We forget and we move on, okay? The secret lab ad came to life for a second. So, KC in a good spot. 4,000 gold ahead. Kyeahoo
Thinks it's a great spot.
living up to his name. Baron is on the Rift. There's a Drake up in a minute's time. It wouldn't be Soul, but it would be KC's third. You need to mute for a second, Rob? Yeah, okay, I'll cover this one for now, okay?
It was the producer in my ear that got me.
I did not hear them, and I'm very thankful I did. One of us needed to maintain control. So, we've got 38 seconds on the Dragon. It's a Cloud, won't be Soul. Kyeahoo now with his 2 stacked items fully stacked up. Seraphs and the Rod of Ages. Canna also a really strong spot. Oblivion. As we see the charm going in, but is Labrov caught out here as Entrance looking for the knockups here onto Yike. Will get one. Busio pops the Unbreakable Will. SkewMond trying to get the damage down as well. And someone needs to do a lot of work in this fight. Busio's low. They'll wait for the Unbreakable Will to fall off, and then they'll look to put the damage into him. Good slow. Realm Warp out. Knock up from Labrov. Busio still gets out because Kyeahoo was not CC'd. And the Alistar was able to take a Realm Warp out to safety. Kyeahoo doing a lot of work here. SkewMond diving in with the Crescent Guard and knock up. Flashed away. Hansama Valkyrie is in. Yike pops the World Ender. And it's able to dash across the wall with the Umbral dash there. In the end, KC escaped not unscathed, but all still alive.
They're barely still alive, but flash on Kyeahoo burns. There is just so much pressure coming through from G2 there. And also the damage from the Phosphorus Bomb. A lot coming out from Hansama to start that one off. And it means that G2 continue to keep this Soul point at bay from KC.
They'll get another Cloud. Good fight from them, even if they didn't pick up the casualties or the kills. They were still able to add the notch of a Cloud Drake onto their belts. Labrov here. Cleanse and heal will cleanse the Rune Prison out. That's the power of the Unsealed Spellbook. Caps trying to hold the wave in mid. BrokenBlade pushing in towards the bottom side. Matched by Canna. Caps. Look at the damage coming out from Caliste! Caps just melts.
That Fiend Hunter Bolt damage doing so much work. Those quick 3 auto attacks. Making mincemeat, but Caliste might be in a bit of trouble here.
And he's able to dash away for now. Chase continues as BrokenBlade looks for the flank. Caliste flashes as BB does the same. Looking for the flash kick, couldn't land it. Caps, no real armor on this player yet. He's gone down the magic resist route to deal with Kyeahoo, and because of that, Caliste able to just rip through him. Waves as well in KC's favor. Top pushed in, bot on its way as Canna stops his recall to get that next wave crashing towards the tier 1. Now realizes, well, we don't actually have control of this side of the map, so we'll restart that recall. A risk for KC as they are down 1 TP in this game. Caps has that teleport. Obviously, Realm Warp from Kyeahoo can try and match that to a degree.
But Caps has his own answer as
Yeah,
well, right?
exactly.
So you are basically playing with that Summoner Spell advantage.
So, KC still in the ascendancy. Almost 6k ahead. It's a 2.5k lead for Yike, and I'm pretty sure KC are pretty happy there are no refunds for this player transfer that happened.
I feel like oh, hang on, Labrov. He should be fine, but there's so much reliance on both AD carries on either side. Obviously, Hansama a little bit further behind, but he's the only real person that can deal consistent damage to take down Yike. If Hansama ends up out of the equation, it becomes very easy for KC to play off of the fact that their jungler is so large. But on the flip side, I mean, Caliste is monstrous this game as well. So if you end up with Caliste just being able to free hit, I don't really feel like G2 have a chance either. So for G2, these fights need to go almost perfectly if you hope to try and take down KC here.
Look at the level lead as well for Kyeahoo in the mid lane. 16 to 14.5 for Caps. Rod of Ages helping that a ton. Actualizer now on that Ryze. You pop that. 8 seconds of increased mana cost, but increased damage. Alongside, actually, Rob, can you hover over the Actualizer for us? We see how much extra damage it's giving. 32.9% increased ability damage when he pops that, alongside healing and shielding, but it's the damage we really care about. If Kyeahoo is untouched in a fight, he is absolutely gonna shred. And that's the issue for G2. You say that about 3-4 of the players on KC, like, I'm worried if Rumble is untouched, I'm really worried if Aatrox is untouched, because G2 have a few experiences with an Aatrox against them when they're in the winning position. And the Ryze and the Yunara there just to top up the DPS meters. Labrov using the Ghost, just wants to get back to that flash from the Unsealed Spellbook, has to dash away. BrokenBlade dodging away from Yike, who's trying to chase him down. BB does have the Dragon's Rage, doesn't want to use it, able to walk out. No Realm Warp behind him, no tower to stand. Sonic Wave misses, Dragon's Rage comes out, but it's too little too late for BB as he is burnt alive. Caps will push in the top side. G2 try and get control over mid, but Canna has a wave on its way towards this bot lane inhibitor tower, and with the crystalline overgrowth being ripped away, that will be an inhibitor turret to KC.
Yike even moving across just in case G2 try and go for some sort of barn play off the back, but there just isn't really an answer. In fact, Hansama needs to be kind of careful here.
And Rob with the knocker, well played by him. Gives Hansama the time to escape the clutches of the Aatrox. KC now gain control of the topside river, and around it the Baron. 50 seconds on the Drake. When you look at items, it's all KC favored. Almost 3 items on Canna. You've got the Oblivion Orb, you've got an Executioner's Calling as well to negate the healing that can come out of G2.
Yeah, I mean, this is starting to feel much more like KC are settling into the roster moves now. We got to see it yesterday where Busio was involved in all 7 kills in the first 14 minutes of the game yesterday, moving around, linking up with Yike. Kind of a similar story in this one as he goes in once more, but Yike behind him.
Just trying to chip away at Labrov, who does have that Celestial opposition, and Shield helping him be topped up. No real follow-up from the rest of KC. Busio testing the waters, Labrov doing the same with a Gleaming Quill. I know which side of those waters I want to be on. It's G2 try and gain control of the river, but with Yike standing in that bush, it's a scary conundrum to have to try and puzzle your way through.
I do like the idea from KC here, though. Wrap through mid, get the push, and guarantee you've got a front line towards Caliste, because you can see BrokenBlade fishing for those Sonic Waves.
Busio going in as a SkewMond, Crescent Guard coming out. Labrov is looking for a long flank all the way near the walls right now. Puts a control ward down. If KC overstep, there's the risk of a quickness onto the back line. It's Caliste. There's the quickness. Hero's entrance diving in as well. An equalizer down. They dive onto Caliste. Good double taunt, but Busio there to save his AD carry. And he does exactly that with the help of Canna. KC now re-engaging. Great stun onto BrokenBlade with a trample as he tried to dive in. KC read them like a book, and they'll burn them in the river. Great play all round from Karmine Corp. G2, Labrov the last man standing, and all he can do is flee from Busio.
Every door that G2 opens has just got a blue wall in front of it. KC have denied them every opportunity this game. And now a Dragon, a Baron, and surely the game off the back of that.
It's going to be a 10k lead for KC. I like the idea from Labrov. Quickness out, dive onto Caliste, but there's just not the follow-up. BrokenBlade getting knocked away by Busio is huge.
And then again here, as he tries to go through, you called it in the middle of the fight. Busio getting that trample to deny BrokenBlade again. And because of that, you just don't have the damage in G2 to finish off Caliste. He gets to reposition, and KC, the front to back, works so well.
Gonna be honest, even if they kill Caliste, I think they still lose the fight. I think KC are just too strong. The Lee-Sin experiment did not work here for BrokenBlade. His 50% all-time win rate is gonna fall to 33.3 recurring, which I don't think he cares about too much, but you know, for those of us interested in stats, it's an interesting thing to think about. KC now with Baron for 2.5 minutes. There's one tier 2 remaining on the map for them. They're going to play through this top side to try and secure it. Caps here. Going to try and defend as much as he can. The Winds of War going out isn't going to do too much damage to the wave. Yike denying entry for Labrov and Hansama towards their top side of their jungle. There's the tower. And now KC with about a little bit more than 4 waves, about 6 waves or so to play with the increase, the shortened spawn time. Caps getting caught out. There's the quickness that wants to Caliste. Crescent Guard out as well, but he's still got the flash to get away. TP coming out from BrokenBlade, but already his jungler is down. And now KC can push through too. Caliste is going to reset. We'll be back out on the map quickly with the home guards. With how far forward these minion waves are pushed, he can sprint out, but instead he's just going to go towards the bot lane. Clear up that wave. Make sure G2 don't have any points of pressure on the map. KC will look for the double inhibs. With the Baroned up minions, they should be able to secure them. Canna with a stopwatch. The engage from BrokenBlade again. Busio punts him to Timbuktu, eats him out of any possibility of a fight, and KC even without their Fed AD carry, are just pushing G2 back.
Busio playing bouncer for BrokenBlade, denying any access. And now a terror's falling, the base in shambles. It's just kind of a quick reset before you jaunt your way down mid lane and just try to force the game end.
This is so good from KC. Like, I think the first few days of the LEC, they haven't quite looked like the force they were last year. Or at least for a lot of last year. Now, this game really looks like that. And you can argue what you want. You can say BB on the Lee Sin hasn't had the effect they wanted it to. They haven't been able to impact the map, but every lane has lost. Like, it's not just BB that's been the problem. Caps was losing in the mid lane, kind of to be expected in the Ryze into Galio matchup. The bot lane was getting beat. Like, Hans Summer and Labrov did not have a good time in that 2v2.
I mean, honestly, the perfect time to have Upset to break it down, because he kind of went through the mistakes bit by bit with the G2 bot lane we're making. And now it's KC reaping the rewards. They're going to start to shift down towards this bottom side, the last remaining inhibitor on the map, and use the fact that you've got that Ryze to start getting vision on this bottom side.
Yike 3 levels above his jungle counterpart. Kind of happens when you have this much control over the game, because I wouldn't be surprised if SkewMond's got like one of his last 6 camps or so. You just don't get to enter the jungle. But across the board leads for KC. Busio stepping in, Labrov looking for the knockoff onto Yike, can't land it. Dashes back to BrokenBlade, who has to dash back to SkewMond. Hans Summer has to dash back across the wall, and he just gets deleted. Kyeahoo gets another Realm Warps in, sends the cow onto the backline, joins him. Crescent Guard out from SkewMond here, instead of used by Caps. The Zhonya's from Kyeahoo buys enough time for the rest of KC to begin to collapse as Caps is forced low. He pops a stopwatch of his own, but I think the next thing going pop will be him. Exactly the case as G2 are sent back to the fountain. They can escape there, but what escape is it as they watch their Nexus fall? KC, 34 minutes in, have only given G2 3 kills. Well, 4 now as they die once to the fountain. A dominant victory for Karmine Corp.
G2 just got dismantled.
Yeah.